10 Scottish surnames linked to ancient clans. Your surname may be more than just a name on a document. In Scotland, a surname can sometimes point toward a landscape, a language, a battlefield, a family alliance, or an ancient clan that once shaped the Highlands and Lowlands. Some Scottish surnames come from Gaelic words, some come from places, some come from powerful families who ruled castles, guarded mountain passes, fought for kings, or rebelled against them. And some names became so famous that even today, centuries later, they still carry the sound of clan history. But before we begin, one important note. A surname can suggest historical, linguistic, or regional roots, but it cannot prove direct ancestry by itself. To prove a family line, you need records, genealogy research, and sometimes DNA evidence. What a surname can do is give you a clue. And sometimes that clue leads to a story much older than the modern family tree. So today, we are decoding 10 Scottish surnames linked to ancient clans. Number 1, MacDonald. Few Scottish surnames feel as strongly connected to clan history as MacDonald. The name MacDonald comes from the Gaelic Mac Domnail, meaning son of Donald. The Donald in question was not just any man. The name is tied to Donald, grandson of Somerled, the great 12th century ruler whose descendants became some of the most powerful families in the Western Highlands and the Isles. Clan Donald became one of the largest and most influential clan confederations in Scottish history. Their lands stretched across parts of the Hebrides and the western seaboard, where sea power mattered as much as land power. For generations, the MacDonalds were associated with the Lordship of the Isles, a semi-independent Gaelic Norse world that stood between Scotland, Ireland, and the wider North Atlantic. That is what makes the name so fascinating. MacDonald is not only a family name. It is a reminder of a time when the Western Islands had their own political gravity, their own warrior culture, and their own rulers who could challenge the Scottish crown. If your surname is MacDonald, it does not automatically mean you descend from the chiefs of Clan Donald. Many people took clan names through loyalty, tenancy, marriage, adoption, or association. But historically, the name points toward one of the great power networks of Gaelic Scotland. It is a name connected to islands, ships, chiefs, rivalries, and a world where clan identity could define your protection, your enemies, and your place in society. Number 2, Campbell. Campbell is one of the most famous surnames in Scotland and also one of the most politically powerful. The name is usually traced to the Gaelic Caimbeol, often interpreted as crooked mouth or wry mouth. That may sound unusual today, but many medieval surnames began as nicknames. Over time, the nickname became attached to a family, then to a clan, and finally to a major force in Scottish history. Clan Campbell rose to prominence in Argyll in the west of Scotland. Their chiefs became the earls and later dukes of Argyll, and the Campbells became closely linked with royal government, law, expansion, and political influence. In clan memory, the Campbells are often seen through two very different lenses. To some, they were skilled administrators, loyal allies of the crown, and builders of long-term power. To others, especially in rival clan traditions, they were ambitious, calculating, and dangerous. That tension is part of why the surname still carries such historical weight. Campbell is not just a name. It is a name associated with strategy. One of the darkest associations is the massacre of Glencoe in 1692, where members of the MacDonald clan were killed after accepting hospitality. The massacre was ordered by the government, but because Campbell soldiers were involved, the event became deeply embedded in clan memory as a symbol of betrayal. Again, a modern Campbell is not responsible for history, but the surname carries echoes of one of the most powerful clan machines Scotland ever produced. If MacDonald evokes the Sea Lords of the Isles, Campbell evokes political power, Argyll Castle's legal authority, and the long game of survival. Number 3, MacLeod. MacLeod is a name that sounds almost mythic, and in many ways its history belongs to the meeting point between Gaelic Scotland and the Norse world. The name MacLeod comes from Gaelic MacLeod, meaning son of Leod. Leod is believed to be connected to the Old Norse name Leotar. That origin points to the complex world of the Hebrides, where Norse settlers, Gaelic families, island rulers, and seafaring cultures blended over centuries. Clan MacLeod is strongly associated with the Isle of Skye and the Isle of Harris. The clan is traditionally divided into major branches including MacLeod of Dunvegan and MacLeod of Lewis. Dunvegan Castle on Skye is one of the great symbols of the clan. It has been the seat of the chiefs of Clan MacLeod for centuries, and it connects the name to one of the most dramatic landscapes in Scotland: sea cliffs, mountains, stormy coasts, and island strongholds. What makes MacLeod powerful as a surname is its layered identity. It is Scottish, Gaelic, and in some ways Norse. It reminds us that Scotland was never culturally simple. The Western Islands were shaped by movement, conquest, marriage, language, and maritime power. If your surname is MacLeod, the name may point toward that island world, where clan identity was formed not only by blood, but by geography and allegiance. It is a name of sky, sea roads, Norse echoes, and Gaelic survival. Number 4. Stewart. Stewart is one of the most important surnames in Scottish history because it became the name of a royal dynasty. The surname Stewart comes from the office of steward. In medieval Scotland, the High Steward was a major hereditary position, responsible for managing royal affairs. Over time, the family holding this role became so powerful that the office itself became their name. The Stuarts eventually rose from noble administrators to kings of Scotland. Robert II, who became king in 1371, was the first Stuart monarch. From there, the House of Stewart ruled Scotland for centuries and later became linked to the crowns of England and Ireland as well. The spelling Stewart became popular through French influence, especially after Mary, Queen of Scots, spent time in France. Today, both Stewart and Stewart connect back to the same broad historical family tradition. Unlike names beginning with Mac, Stewart does not begin as a Gaelic patronymic. It is an occupational and political surname. But in Scotland, it became deeply tied to clan and dynastic identity. There are several Stewart branches, including Stewarts of Appin, Atholl, and Bute. Some were royal, some were regional, some became clan communities in their own right. The power of the name Stewart is that it connects family identity to monarchy, administration, rebellion, and legitimacy. It is a surname that moved from a job title to a throne. If your surname is Stewart, it does not mean you are royal, but historically, the name is linked to one of the most consequential families Scotland ever produced. Number 5. MacKenzie. MacKenzie is another surname rooted in Gaelic clan history. The name is usually derived from the Gaelic Mac Coinach, meaning son of Coineach or son of Kenneth. Coinach can be interpreted as handsome or fair one, though name meanings often shift over time and translation. Clan MacKenzie became strongly associated with the Northwest Highlands, especially Ross-shire, and lands around Kintail. Over the centuries, the Mackenzies grew into one of the major Highland clans, expanding their influence through landholding, alliances, and political skill. One of the best-known symbols connected to Clan Mackenzie is the stag's head, and the clan motto is often given as Luceo non uro, meaning I shine, not burn. The Mackenzies were not just warriors. Like many successful clans, they were also builders of networks. They gained land, formed alliances, navigated royal politics, and adapted as Scotland changed. This matters because the popular image of a clan is often just swords, tartan, and battle. But real clan power was also about law, marriage, land, language, and timing. Mackenzie is a surname that suggests Highland roots, but also the transformation of clans from kin groups into political organizations. It is a name connected to the Northern Highlands, to ambition, and to the ability to survive in a changing Scotland. Number 6. Fraser. Fraser is one of the most interesting Scottish surnames because its origins may not be purely Gaelic. The name is often believed to have Norman or French roots, though its exact origin is debated. One popular theory connects Fraser to the French word fraise, meaning strawberry, which may explain the strawberry flowers found in Fraser heraldry. But as with many medieval surnames, the true origin is not perfectly certain. What is clear is that the Frasers became deeply embedded in Scotland. Clan Fraser developed important branches in the Lowlands and the Highlands. The Frasers of Lovat became especially associated with the Highlands around Inverness-shire. Over time, the name became tied to land, loyalty, conflict, and Jacobite history. One of the most famous Fraser figures was Simon Fraser, Lord Lovat, a controversial Highland chief involved in the Jacobite Rising of 1745. His story shows how clan leadership could be both political and dangerous. In that era, choosing the wrong side could cost a family everything. Fraser is a good reminder that Scottish clan surnames are not always simple ancient Gaelic names. Some families arrived through Norman influence, royal service, or feudal land holding, then became Scottish through centuries of settlement, marriage, and identity. If your surname is Fraser, it may point toward a name that crossed cultural boundaries before becoming part of Scotland's clan landscape. It is a surname of adaptation, possibly Norman in origin, Scottish in history, and Highland in memory. Number 7. MacGregor. MacGregor is one of the most dramatic names in Scottish clan history. The name comes from Gaelic MacGregor, meaning son of Gregor. Clan Gregor claimed descent from ancient royal lines, and whether every tradition can be proven or not, the clan's sense of identity was powerful. The MacGregors were strongly associated with parts of the Highlands, including Glen Orchy, Glen Stray, and areas around Loch Lomond. But their history became marked by conflict over land, power, and survival. In the early 17th century, the name MacGregor was legally prescribed. Members of the clan were forbidden from using their own surname after conflicts with more powerful neighbors and the crown. Many MacGregors were forced to adopt other names, such as Murray, Grant, Campbell, or other aliases. Think about what that means. A surname was not just a label, it could become illegal. That gives MacGregor a special place in Scottish surname history. It is a name that represents not only ancestry, but resistance and erasure. To carry the name was once dangerous. The most famous MacGregor figure is Rob Roy MacGregor, the 18th century outlaw and folk hero. His life became romanticized in literature, but his fame helped make the name MacGregor known far beyond Scotland. If your surname is MacGregor, it connects to one of the most resilient clan stories in Scotland, a name suppressed, hidden, and eventually restored. It is a surname of defiance. Number 8. Robertson. Robertson may look like a simple patronymic surname, meaning son of Robert, but in Scotland it has deep clan associations. Clan Robertson is also known as Clan Donashade, from the Gaelic name meaning children of Duncan. The clan is traditionally associated with the area around Atholl in Perthshire. The name Robertson became especially connected to the descendants of Robert Riabhash, a chief from whom the English form of the surname developed. This is a useful reminder that many Scottish surnames have both Gaelic and English-facing forms. A clan might carry one traditional Gaelic identity, while its members used a surname more recognizable in Scots or English. Clan Robertson played a notable role in medieval and early modern Scottish history. According to clan tradition, they supported Robert the Bruce, and the clan's identity became tied to loyalty, Highland territory, and kinship. The name Robertson is also interesting because it is more widely familiar and less obviously clan-like than MacDonald or MacLeod. Many people may not realize that a surname ending in son can still be connected to a Scottish clan structure. If your surname is Robertson, it may simply mean that an ancestor was the son of someone named Robert. But in Scotland, it can also point toward Clan Donashade and a much older Highland identity. It is a name that hides clan history behind a familiar patronymic form. Number 9, Gordon. Gordon is a powerful Scottish surname with roots in place and nobility. The name likely comes from a place name in the Scottish borders, possibly from lands called Gordon in Berwickshire. Like many medieval surnames, it began as a way to identify people by the land they came from or controlled. The Gordons later became one of the great noble families of Scotland, especially associated with the northeast. Clan Gordon rose to major prominence in Aberdeenshire and became linked with the title Duke of Gordon. Their history includes castles, military influence, royal service, and regional power. The Gordon name became especially strong in the northeast, where noble authority and clan identity often overlapped. Unlike some Highland clans rooted in Gaelic patronymics, Gordon shows another path into Scottish clan history: territorial power. A family name could begin with land, then become a political identity, then a clan. This is important for understanding Scotland. Not every clan name begins with Mac. Not every clan was organized in exactly the same way. Some were Gaelic kin groups, some were noble houses, some were territorial networks, some were all of these at once. If your surname is Gordon, the name may point toward the borders, the northeast, and one of Scotland's major aristocratic clan traditions. It is a surname of land, rank, and regional authority. Number 10. Douglas. Douglas is one of the great surnames of medieval Scotland. The name comes from a place in Lanarkshire, from Gaelic elements often interpreted as dubh and glas, meaning dark and stream or water. So Douglas may originally mean something like dark water or dark stream, but the surname became famous because of the House of Douglas, one of the most powerful noble families in Scottish history. The Douglases rose to prominence during the Wars of Scottish Independence. Sir James Douglas, known as the Good Sir James or the Black Douglas, was one of the key supporters of Robert the Bruce. His reputation as a warrior became legendary, especially in stories of raids, loyalty, and the fight against English power. Over time, the Douglases became so powerful that they were sometimes seen as a threat to the Scottish crown itself. The family divided into major branches, including the Black Douglases and the Red Douglases, and their influence shaped politics, warfare, and noble rivalry. Douglas is a surname that carries a strong medieval atmosphere. It is tied to castles, battles, loyalty, ambition, and the dangerous closeness between noble power and royal power. If your surname is Douglas, it does not prove descent from the great medieval lords. But historically, the name is connected to one of the most formidable houses in Scotland. It is a name of dark water, hard borders, and medieval power. So what do these 10 surnames tell us? Scottish clan surnames are not all the same kind of name. MacDonald, MacLeod, MacKenzie, and MacGregor preserve Gaelic patronymic traditions. They point to sons of named ancestors and the kinship systems of Highland and Island society. Campbell shows how a nickname could become a political dynasty. Stewart shows how an office could become a royal house. Fraser shows how a possibly Norman or French-rooted name could become fully Scottish. Robertson shows how a familiar patronymic can hide a deeper clan identity. Gordon and Douglas show how place names and noble houses became part of Scotland's clan and family landscape. That is why surnames matter. They are not perfect proof. They are not simple labels. They are historical clues. A surname might point to a region. It might preserve a language. It might remember a chief, a profession, a landscape, or a political alliance. Sometimes it can even reveal how families moved between cultures, changed loyalties, or survived pressure from kings, rivals, and changing laws. And in Scotland, surnames are especially powerful because clan history was never just about ancestry. It was about land, protection, obligation, identity, and memory. So if you carry one of these names or a related spelling, your surname may connect you to a much larger story. But the next step is always research. Look at records, trace locations, study spelling changes, compare family tradition with documents, and remember that many people joined clans through loyalty, land, and community, not only direct blood descent. That makes the story more interesting, not less. Because a surname is not a final answer, it is a map, and sometimes it is the first map your ancestors left behind. If you want more surname histories, clan stories, migration maps, and forgotten origins, subscribe to Surname Atlas and leave a comment with your surname and country. It may appear in a future episode.